The tube. Oh, ow. Okay, I actually have to reduce my volume now because. Oh, that tears my ears. There we go. The tube warmed up and familiar white noise started dancing on the black screen. You don't have this anymore. I almost reached out to turn on the VCR when the noise calmed down and a blurry image appeared for a moment. It was a dark taiga forest, just like the one outside my window. The picture split the screen in half. That almost sounds like a missing person report on the news. Something creepy resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. What are we imagining now? Just a few moments later, the scenery was again overshadowed by noise. Did I catch some rogue signal? Local TV station only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. I know Soviet has some really cool cartoons. There's like New Pogodi, which is some sort of like a Tom and Jerry style wolf chasing a rabbit, which was really high quality. I remember, like really smooth animations. And only just recently I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. What if I catch this channel again? On the other hand, Olia had asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all of it. She's not gonna be like that upset. We already agreed to watch it with her. It doesn't take that long to find the tape and rewind it. Let's explore our imagination a bit. Graveyard. The picture finally cleared up, and it cleared up a lot. But the moment I rejoiced at finding that weird signal again, the TV started coughing, a voice barely coming through the cacophony.
Видели его часто.
He was often seen, says the announcer.
Именно тогда.
At the moment when... Small snowy hills were lined up on the screen, pierced with rickety crosses, and a male voice was narrating with a slow, mournful voice, as if reporting that the boy had perished.
Стояла беспросветная кладбищенская ночь.
It was a pitch-black night at the cemetery.
В то мрачное время маленькая Сеня встретила свою судьбу в лице чудовищного обитателя дикой чащобы.
In that fateful dark time, little Senya met her fate at the face of a monstrous thicket dweller.
Местные называют его не иначе, как хозяин леса.
The locals call him none other than the Forest Master. I froze and did my best not to move, as if by doing that I could scare away the narrator. I listened closely to his every word, because you're frozen in fear and we have no choice.
Зверя разобрался с беспомощной девочкой по-хозяйски.
The beast dealt with the helpless girl in a masterful manner. The camera panned across the snow with something black spilled over it, looking for ragged pieces of cloth that were thrown around all over the place. Yeah, like the glove, the mitten that we picked up started off dripping black, and then it dripped red, didn't it? And then then it just was wet snow at the end of it. But you know, imagination. And there's the cloth, and what am I looking at here? We have all sorts of remnants in the snow. I think it's mostly cloth remains and blood that we see. But I also see something in the snow that looks like tracks or something. And this looks in general like a large arm, hand, monstrous print, or like hitting in the snow or so. I didn't know what to think whether Senya's remains were wrapped in there, so I shut my eyes without thinking. Well, that looks like a skull almost. The voice then continued.
Волки здесь редкие гости.
Vogue. Wolves are rare guests in these parts.
Вот что поведала нам баба Тамара, обитательница одного из местных склепов.
Is that our grandmother? Is this like an old footage from when our grandmother was still alive? Here's what Tamara, the old woman that lives in a nearby crypt, had to say. Well, our woman didn't. Our woman. Our grandmother didn't live in a crypt. A close-up shot of the face of an old homeless woman, weary from life and alcohol abuse, rattled on the screen.
Да, бестия страшенная, хуже мертвеца отрытого.
Yes, such a fearsome beast it is, worse than the rising dead. The old woman splattered saliva all over the rectangular mic. Oh.
И смердит шо, как...
That looked like a demon or something with long ears, like a bunny. I glimpsed it on the right-hand side there. And the stink. It's like...
Немытый!
The rest of her comparison was swallowed up by the sound of a horn. Yeah, I believe they censored it because it's too descriptive to convey on national television.
Не припомню я такой вони.
I've never felt anything like that.
Стояла эта тварюга там, где ты, милок, сейчас стоишь, и таращилась на меня прям посередь дня.
It was just standing there, yes, right where you stand, boyo, and pierced me with its eyes, right in the middle of day. And she's speaking just like the protagonist is thinking always, because the protagonist always pierces stuff with his eyes. Imagination.
Здоровенно такая, глаза стеклянные.
Was so huge, that one, with glassy eyes. Obscenities were covered by another beep.
Говорят, что ежели тебе этот дьявол заприметить, то сунет в мешок к себе и дел с концом.
You know, they say if this demon lays its eyes on you, it'll snatch you, put you into his bag, and you're done.
Но меня он не трогает.
But he won't touch me.
Видать, нравлюсь я ему.
Likes me, it seems.
Вот и зовут меня чертовой невестой.
So they even call me the devil's wench. You sound like a devil's
Что
wench.
правда, то правда.
And it's definitely true. Yeah, that's just our imagination sort of really putting emphasis on it.
Опустившимися до звериного образа жизни хищник брезгует, предпочитая детскую невинную кровь.
The carnivorous monster will not touch those who fell to the level of forest beasts, going for the innocent child's blood instead.
Теперь все чаще хозяина леса видят в поселениях на периферии нашей родины.
The forest master's presence is felt more and more on the outskirts of our country. Torn between believing in what was said and shrugging it away, I decided to record the remaining part of the documentary for some reason. We're going to record it over one of her tapes. I quickly grabbed the tape that was on top of the TV and put it into the VCR without even looking at the cover. We're going to make her cry. I pressed rec, turned the sound up, and paid attention to the slipping signal. Also, maybe not many know about this, but of course you could buy cassette tapes to record to, where it was displayed on a television. But if you had a movie, a pre-recorded movie and mass-produced movie, like the Disney films or Disney episodes of your The Little Mermaid or Aladdin, you had to put like a tape over a certain hole in order to tell the VCR that the tape was no longer write protected, because usually you weren't able to plainly record over it. You had to put like a piece of tape over it to cover it. That gave a signal, like it sort of checked if the hole was there. If the hole was there, it didn't allow you to record over it. So you put a tape to sort of block the hole, allowing you to do it. Just a little fun fact for those who don't know, because this is like technology that no one else is using anymore. I pressed record, turned the sound up, and paid attention to the slipping signal.
Хозяином леса его прозвали не просто так.
It's not called the forest's master for nothing.
Ему подчиняются все звери, пернатые и лохматые. Они предвестники появления самого чудовища.
All of the animals obey it, be they hairy or feathery. They're all precursors for its appearance. What's this? Is this like a head? Or maybe it's just clothes, socks. Or something. Being optimistic here.
Если слышите вой вдалеке, то, скорее всего, он знает, где вы живете.
If you hear howls in the distance, then it most likely already knows where you live.
Если порог дома истоптан звериными следами, а за окном караулят птицы, прячьтесь, он уже идет за вами.
If you find animal prints all over your doorstep and birds watching you from the trees, you'd better hide. It's already coming for you. Well, the huge owl is watching our sister, and we did see scratch marks at our door earlier.
А если однажды ночью, проснувшись, вы увидите глаза в окне, то скоро,
And if you wake up at night and see a pair of eyes in your window,
скоро,
then soon,
скоро,
soon,
скоро,
soon,
скоро,
soon,
скоро,
soon.
скоро.
Well, it seems to have reached a loop. Oh! The TV suddenly went mad and looped the last word over and over, piercing my ears. That looked like a goat, or like some sort of demonic entity, which is often like a goat with antlers. Some creature like this. Ah. I got goosebumps all over my spine. The tape ended and it was rewinding to the beginning. The sound of rustling tape reminded me of leaves in the wind and the low howl of the beast. Auto tracking, I suppose this means that when it reaches the end it automatically goes back. Never had anything like that. Again, I think this was more advanced than the ones we had. I don't even remember if I read this. That got to be. The sound of rustling tape reminded me of leaves in the wind and the low howl of the beast. I think I read it, I just didn't sort of record it to my head. I woke up from my stupor and pressed the button. The VCR ejected the tape. For a moment I thought it was stained with saliva, because the creature that sort of jumped at us. But that was just the light from the chandelier, making the black plastic glossy. Peter Pan. I think it says Peter Pan. And then I saw the cover. Oh no, that's what I want. That's what we wanted to watch. And also, this is. Oh yeah, this is the hole. Because on official video cassettes like Disney cassettes, this hole would already be there. Here it hasn't been broken off. This is like this was recorded illegally or something. But I am digressing. I'm probably so wrong. But yeah, it looks like a like what did you buy it for the purpose of recording? Oops, I recorded it over Peter Pan. That's what I get for hurrying. It was bad enough that I ruined Olia's cartoon, but I also put this creepy stuff over it. Something tells me that it's just gonna be like white noise, but we'll see. I can't let her see this. We will drown in tears. I snuck a glance at the door. I could hear the clatter of glass and the squeaky floorboards. Olia appeared in the doorway.
Ты не смотришь без меня?
You haven't started it without me, have you? My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk.
Нет,
No.
я пока кассету ищу.
I was looking for the tape. Well, she did say it was on top of something, so...
А ты точно хочешь Питера Пэна смотреть?
Do you really want to watch Peter Pan?
Хочу!
I do. Well, maybe we can bargain a little bit now because she's no longer crying. She's excited and happy. Maybe we can bargain for a different one.
Включай скорее, а то мама скоро сядет свой бразильский сериал смотреть.
Turn it on already. Mom will come watch her Brazilian drama soon. Okay, so everyone comes to your room to watch. Come to think. Come on, think, fake detective.
Честно, мне как-то Питер Пэн совсем не понравился.
You know, I didn't like Peter Pan. Maybe we can say that's why we fell asleep.
Может, лучше «Русалочку»?
Maybe we should watch Little Mermaid instead.
Русалочку я уже насмотрелась.
I've already seen it so many times.
А ты обещал.
And you promised me. She's so stubborn.
Придумал. Давай сначала пару серий «Черепашек-ниндзя». Согласна?
I know. Let's watch a couple of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episodes first, alright? To warm up. Oya frowned, but ultimately gave up. It was a compromise. And that gives us some time to figure out what we're gonna do about the situation. She put down the tray and crossed her hands on her chest.
Если так сильно просишь,
If you want it so much.
откроешь сгущенку. Порезаться боюсь. Края острые.
Can you open the milk can? I'm afraid I'll cut myself with the sharp edges. As soon as I stood up, colorful dots popped up before my eyes, and my sore legs were pierced by thousands of needles. Oh, you need to rest. Only when I reached the sofa, I realized the can was already open. Olia had tricked me, played me for a fool. My stomach became heavy. I wanted to... Oh yeah, she tricked us because she wanted to put on Peter Pan. I wanted to rush towards the TV, but my little sister was faster. I just thought it was just a harmless prank. Haha, I made you get up here. But yeah, she wanted to put on the right tape. She picked up the remote and proclaimed in a victorious tone,
Повелся!
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha!
Владычица пульта приказывает смотреть Питера Пэна!
As the remote's master, I command you to watch Peter Pan. I couldn't even open my mouth, and the VCR had already eaten the accursed tape. Well, you know what? There's a plan B. Sort of. The tape, after I hit record, it ended very fast, right? We didn't record too much of it. So at the very least, we have a good margin. With a good margin, the first half of the movie should still be on there, right? I couldn't even open my mouth, and the VCR had already eaten the accursed tape. She'll play it, and then black crosses on unnamed graves, empty crypts, bloody scraps on the snow, and the insane devil's wench. I should tell the truth.
Оля, стой!
Olia, stop.
Я тебе конец кассеты нечаянно стер.
I erased the end of your tape by accident.
Отдай ее мне и возьми любые две мои.
I'll trade it with you for 2 of mine.
Ты чего?
What do you mean?
Не мог ты стереть? Мы с папой всем кассетам зубики пластмассовые выломали.
Oh,
Отвёртый?
that's what I... talked about. Me and Dad had... You couldn't erase it. Me and Dad had broken off all those plastic pins with a screwdriver. But if it's an original tape, it didn't have those plastic pins. Also, I clearly saw those pins. I remembered those pins. That picture was nostalgic, as with a lot of the environment here is nostalgic when I have a look at it. But yeah.
Теперь ни на один мой мультфильм ничего записать нельзя.
You can't record anything over my cartoons now. My little sister pressed the triangular play button on the remote. I squeezed on the inside, awaiting the out of this world voice of the narrator. But I saw the duel between Peter Pan and Captain Hook instead. I sighed in relief. My head, heavy as a leaden ball, now rested in my hands. Oria smiled in joy. She put the tape on rewind and started spreading milk over her bread. And when the cartoon started, she forgot about everything in the world, as it seemed she already had. But it's good, it's good. We need to beat her for our sister. As if she really got transported to the Neverland, like she always wished. To be honest, I also imagined myself there, in a land where one never ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights and the sound of broken plates at night. So is that why we can't sleep then? Not because we're scared, but because they fight all the time, even in the night? But now, Peter Pan's land was especially far away from me. My thoughts, dragged on, stumbled upon the horned beast that awaited me among the trees, and the narrator's mournful voice haunted me, sliding over bushes and ravines, I think it's pronounced. Like a winged carnivore would track its prey. It felt like I was dreaming, with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality.
Тоша, скорее, штору задерни!
Tosha, shut the curtains fast. Hey, what was that on TV? Was that something new? Okay, that looked like a big mouth. I haven't seen Peter Pan, so I don't know if that belongs there, but it looks a little creepy. It looks like something we would imagine.
Зачем?
Why the curtains?
Никто же на тебя не смотрит.
No one's watching you. It seems like the night has come.
Уже темно, а когда темнеет, прилетает сова.
It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes.
Я боюсь.
I'm scared. I got out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtains. I did my best not to look outside toward the treetops, toward the taiga forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Ooh. Yeah, I suppose in the bliss of drowsiness. And it seemed that we really did doze off on top of it. I suppose we are in a haze where we're not as frightened anymore, but we know that if we did peek out and we did glimpse something, that would snap us out of the drowsiness state and make us perhaps equally scared. Of course, it was just a visual effect from shadows of branches scraping the snow.
Тоша, мама думает, что я напридумывала про сову.
Tosha, Mom thinks I made the owl up. Well, as does Dad. Why does your face glow up like that when you're facing me? I suppose we're both facing the TV, maybe. That's why your face glows up.
И папа считает, что раз я маленькая, это значит врушка.
And Dad, too, thinks I'm a liar since I'm small.
А сова есть.
But the owl exists.
Вот честная-пречестная, есть она.
Honestly, it does.
Ты же мне веришь?
You do believe me, right? I believe you because I've seen some shit. I believe you.
Что она там и каждую ночь прилетает и...
That it comes every night and... I swiftly grabbed Olia's hand, and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination, or drowsy indifference. But yes, some courage. But did I really have those qualities?
Я тебе верю, слышишь?
Yes, I believe you, alright?
Ты только родителям больше не рассказывай про сову.
Just don't nag our parents about it anymore. It doesn't seem to do any good.
У них и так хлопот по горло, они только рассердятся.
They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at you.
Ты мне говори, если что случится.
Come and tell me if anything happens, because it seems like me and her are in this together. No one else seems to believe us. Maybe the policeman that was here. We don't know how he would react if we told him. Especially not if we tell them about the mitten. Maybe they'll get fissy and hissy about not being the ones to find it, feeling they did a good job and then taking that anger out on us, being annoyed. But no, he said that he has a relative looking up to him, wants to be a cop. He said he wants to be a good guy. I think he's doing the right thing.
И в окно не смотри.
Okay, don't look out the window.
Но она хочет, чтобы я смотрела.
But it wants me to look.
Перехочет.
It doesn't matter.
Притворись, что ее нет и не было никогда, что она выдумка, как родители говорят.
Act like it doesn't exist and never existed. Like as if it's made up. Just like mom and dad say.
Ей ждать надоест, она улетит.
It'll get tired of waiting and fly away. Flap, flap. We followed Peter Pan's adventures as if nothing had happened, as if the forest didn't kidnap kids, as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit, and we immersed ourselves in the world of Disney. Captain Hook was running away from a crocodile. Okay, so that is in the movie indeed. And Captain Pan was headed to London on a gilded sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Well, I suppose she's been feeling more comfortable than she ever did. Then she finally got some sleep. I mean, I suppose that will happen if you had many sleepless nights or semi-sleepless nights, and suddenly you're at the comfort of your own brother. You feel safe-ish. Especially if you forget the world around you. And you're gonna fall asleep quickly. Alia's eyelids had dropped. She started snorting lightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. The chorus was singing the ending song. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's that airy ambience. It's shifting. It's shifting. And as the chorus was singing the ending song, the world of Disney was lit up by a silvery moon. Oh, there's the glimpse. Yes, I saw that again. You see it here. Another moon peeked from under the first one. Scary and wan, hanging over the taiga forest. The horrific report got recorded right over the credits. Well, some of it did, apparently. Somehow. My throat went dry, my pulse became faster. I looked toward Oldia. She smacked her lips in her sleep. I squeezed the remote with all my might, ready to press stop any moment. I never had a remote control for my VCR player. We only had the buttons on the apparatus itself. I rewound the recording, checked if it was intact, and then carefully took out the tape. The protective pin was still in place. I'm confused. Am I remembering it wrong? I'm pretty sure if the protective pin is in place, that allows the recording to happen. But hey, I could be wrong. Maybe I remember it wrongly. I stood up and left Olya's room and turned off the TV. As the last remaining light, everything went dark. Which could have feed our imagination quite easily. Whether it was by providence or by curse, I hid the tape alongside the mitten at the exact moment Mom peeked into my room. And I suppose our sister won't be looking for Peter Pan anytime soon because we just watched it, so maybe she won't be looking for it for now. Cursed tape recorded the report footage. Achievement unlock. Enough playing around. Okay, you wanted to watch your Brazilian series, wasn't it? Waking up our sister, unless she watches this in a different room. But maybe that was our only TV and VCR.
Завтра первый день в школе.
It's your first day at school tomorrow. Interesting.
Ложись, тебе надо выспаться.
Go to bed. You should sleep properly.
Не хочешь же ты, чтобы тебя все дразнили Соней?
You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? But that's a cool thing to do. And here we draw a castle. Is this inspired by the Disney movies? Adults think everything is so simple. You know, adults sometimes forget how it is to be a child. As if sound sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. I covered myself with a blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming, to something invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? I'm not sure if you do. That's some sort of horror curiosity you have going on there. You are morbid curious, and at the same time it terrifies you more than anything else. Yes or no? Maybe it's just a part of growing up and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the fields. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled on and on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber, how it typically will be. That's how it gets you. Prologue, like prologue. Zavdrak. Flashback. I don't know. Oh, that just says police in my own in my language. Dalsche. I like written languages, but I don't really know too much how to. Okay, so this feels like a natural place to stop because I've been playing for just over 3 hours now. It has come after all. Okay, let's see if we can save. Empty slot. There we go. There we go. And, right. Are you sure you want to return? Yeah. I think this is a very interesting game so far. Was that owl there before? I remember there was like a rabbit or something in the jacket, but I don't remember this. Maybe it's dynamic. So far, I really like the game. This game pulls me in, and I'm looking forward to continuing this, probably tomorrow. I'm just going to chop up this session into smaller episodes like I usually do. I hope it was interesting to watch. I hope I managed to present this in a relatively immersive and calm fashion. This is my first time impression on Tiny Bunny, and well, let's see how it goes next time. If I do get the option to listen to the flute again and conjure it up in my imagination, I'm probably gonna do that to see where it leads me, because I'm curious now. It seems to be one of the more traumatizing moments that our protagonist thinks back to, but at the same time, it seems like there's so much to dig up there. So we are a detective after all, aren't we? An imaginative detective. So, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a pleasant night.